Boker Tov, good morning. We continue with the 3-minute daily dose of Torah, looking at that question of eating the carbon Pesach bechipazon, hurriedly, and remind ourselves what the Torah actually says. Kacha tochlu oto. This is how you shall eat the carbon. You should hold on a second. I'll get the exact quote. Give me a moment. Pekasha tuchluoto, says the pasuk, Yud Beit Yud Aleph 12:11. So shall you. This is how you shall eat it. Matnechem chagurim. Your belts should be affixed to you. You should have your belts on. Nalechem beraglechem. Your feet are shoes should be on your feet. Makelchem beyedchem. And your walking sticks should be in your hands. Ve'alchatem oto b'chipazon. Pesach ula Hashem, you should eat it hurriedly. This is the Pesach of Hashem, in mode ready to leave. But says, we mentioned yesterday, Rabbi Kiva says, yeah, but since they weren't allowed to leave their houses until morning, so you know that that hurriedly ready to leave would be only when it's likely that they're going to, they know they're going to be allowed to leave. So that means you can eat the carbon Pesach all the way up until morning light. That's Rabbi Kiva's opinion. The Gemara goes on to the following, skipping a little later in the Gemara. Everybody knows, he says, that when the Israelites were redeemed from Egypt, that actually happened at night, in the evening part of the night. So the verse says that God says, I brought you out of Egypt, land of Egypt, night, in the night, not in the daytime, not at dawn. But that was nigalu, kishiyatsu. But when their actual departure, lo yatsu el bayom, they only actually left in the daytime. As it says on the morrow of the Pesach, the Bnei Yisrael went out with raised hands. Alman nechalku. So what do Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah and Rabbi Kiva disagree about? Al sha'at chipazon. How to define that phrase? You should eat it bechipazon. What is the time of chipazon? Rabbi Kiva told us we mean when you when the Israelites were leaving Egypt. But Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah savar my chipazon de Mitzrayim. It means the hurriedness of Egypt, not the hurriedness of Israel. What do we mean by that? The hurriedness of Egypt. Hurriedness of the Jews is when we were ready to march right out. But the hurriedness of Egypt actually happened at night, as it says the following pasuk. After the pasuk in chapter 12, 29 tells us about at midnight, God, went through and killed all the firstborns. By the next pasuk, Vayakam Paro Laila Hu V'chol Vadav V'chol Mitzrayim Paro. Then at night, he and all his servants in all of Egypt arose. V'tehitza Hagdalah Mitzrayim. There was a great outcry in Egypt because every house had a death, and he called to Moshe and Aaron in the night, and they said, "Get up, kumu tzu'u mitochami, get up and depart, leave from the midst of my people. Gamatem gam kol b'nei Yisrael, all of you guys, get out of here." That was chipazon de Mitzrayim. We'll continue tomorrow to understand a little bit more. The hurriedness of Egypt happened at midnight. But the hurriedness of Israel could happen by morning light, because that's when we're allowed to leave. Hold on to that, and we'll conclude this whole flow tomorrow.